How are you guys? Welcome to my channel. I have to record this before my sisters wake up because if you guys don't know, well, you guys don't know, but you guys now know that my sisters are very loud. You hear that? I'm so sorry. Yeah, so I have to do this before they wake up. So, my name is Aileen Moreno and I'm a fashion design student at Dominican University. And I will be graduating this year, hopefully, because Miss Rona wanted to visit us this year. So in this video, I will show you guys a fashion illustration of a top that I'm actually going to be making. And I want to show you guys first kind of like an idea of what it's going to look. So let's get rolling. Before I show you guys this is the most cringiest drawing I've ever made. Oh my god, I'm not ready, but here it goes. Who told me this is right? Who said this is beautiful? Who did I think I was? But luckily I draw a little bit more like this. This was in my sophomore year in college. And then this is another example of my sophomore year in college, how I illustrated and colored. It's a little better, you know, it's there, you know, this is the tried. And then this is from my senior collection on my senior year, obviously in college. It's better, you know, I'm a little bit more proud of this. Whenever I do quick sketches, I focus on the front, side, and back and the small details. So on the front side, I'll be using an embroidered paisley fabric, and then at the back, I'll be doing pin tucking with this light fabric. Around the neck, I'm going to be pleating them, and then at the bottom, I'm also going to be pleating. At the back, it's going to be pin tucking, and then the back is going to be tied. So that's how it's going to be like the closures, and that's how I'm going to enter in the clothing item. And yeah, it's going to be gathered in there. I have an idea of how it's going to look, how I'm going to construct it. Prior to making this video, I already made my figure. I first do it in pencil on a tracing paper, and then here I'm sketching it out. Not sketching it out, I'm doing the final lines with an actual permanent pen. I used the Artist Loft point. What point is that? Oh goodness gracious, I don't know. It went too quick. I don't even know. I think it was a 0.3. Yeah, 0.3. After outlining the body figure with a pen, you tape your selected paper on top of the figure, and this tape is not regular tape. This tape is called artist tape, and it will easily come off. Oh boy, because I don't have a light box, I will be using this and putting my phone in there with the flash on, and I'll use it as a light box. You could also use like a table that's just glass and put a light under, and that's a perfect light box kind of thing that you could use. Or you can also use the window. That's also a great place to do it, but there has to be sunlight outside, so you'll have to do it during daylight. So now that you can see the figure, you can really sketch out what the details you want. On the next part, you'll actually take off the light box and actually do concise detailing on it. Obviously, there's many ways to do fashion illustrations. This is just my way of doing it. Once you have completed that, now it's the time to add the other extra stuff of the clothing item. So like the seams, the creases, the highlights, any accessories that you want on there as well. Adding more detail to your figures, or any painting actually, it really just completes and makes the whole thing look good, you know? If I could whistle, I would whistle. Let me try. It looks really good, right? Doesn't it look good? Now, we're gonna put another piece of paper where you're gonna actually paint it with markers or selected color pencils or whatever you're gonna use as a media. And I tape it on top of the figure that is completed. I will be using Prismacolor markers for this project, and I usually get the ones with the brush tip. Yay, we finally start coloring. So I start off with the highlights of the body, and with this I use the color buff. After doing the highlights, I layer the brick beige color onto the sides, on the darker sides. The key here is to mix and layer on top different colors or even the same shade to add more dimensions and more depth to the drawing or the illustration. And this concept is used for any other type of media. It's always good to layer on top. You'll notice here that I use different colors that are darker just to add more depth. So I will be using here the color sand for the darker places. I'm very delicate to where I'm placing this. And I go back and forth with the same colors that I use. Like this here, I'm mixing in the brick beige. And then I also sometimes go back with the buff to blend it out really nicely. For the top, I use the color Mocha light, and then on the darker parts, I use Goldenrod. I know you probably think it's looking a little crazy right now, but trust me, at the end it's gonna look all really nice. For the hair, I'm using Mocha light and Mocha dark. First I go with the light one and then I go with the dark one. And you might notice here that I left like a lot of spots white. That's just to add highlights, and those are the places that I just wanted to be really white. So this handbag that I drew is actually my lunchbox, and I'm so excited. It motivates me to do my lunches now for work. It's called Modern Picnic. It's from there. I'll leave the link below and you guys can check it out. It's really cute. It looks like a bag, but it's a lunch bag. I'm obsessed with it. Anyways, bottoms are white and the bag is white. So what I do is I leave most of it just white, and wherever there's creases, shadows, or anything like that, I use a cool gray 10% on the shadows. On top of that, I use a cool gray 30% on parts that I want really dark. Now onto the shoes. I use buff for the highlights, then light tan, and then after that I use Mocha dark on the darker spots, and then Goldenrod just a little bit on the sides of the highlights. Yes, girl, work it. She's looking good, but we're not done here. Now we're gonna use the Prismacolor fine line marker. I'm starting off with the 0.1. After marking the small details with the 0.1, I use the 0.3 to outline a little bit thicker and to stylize the lines. Trust me, when you start stylizing the lines and putting your own little swing to it, it just makes it your own artistic style. I messed up here, but it's okay. It's okay, don't worry about it. It's art. This is where we start thickening out the lines, so it kind of helps me out to fix this. I only use 3 for the parts that I really want thick. When it comes to the details of the face, you really want to focus on that, because honestly, a face can make it or break a fashion illustration, in my opinion. Now onto the color pencils. I'm gonna use the color pencils on the top because I notice it's a little darker than the actual fabric, so I'm gonna use white first and shade that all on top of the color that I already put on with the marker. When I put in the white, I really am light with it. After that, on the parts that I want really darker, I use ginger root and I layer that a little bit darker, a little heavy-handed, I guess you could say. And then I layer on those dark parts beige on there. And then you use light umber. I know there's a bunch of colors, but it makes the illustration look better because you're adding different values, and with shadows and highlights, it makes the drawing a little bit more 3D dimensional. Wait, 3D dimensional. There's already dimensional in 3D. What are you saying, Eileen? After filling the top with the colored pencils, I use a pencil to trace out where the pattern is of the jacquard. In this case, it's like a paisley pattern that I'm trying to do. Now, after doing that, I go over it with a 0.1 pen. So you might be asking, what is a jacquard? So a jacquard is like a type of weaving that's loomed in different patterns to create many intricate designs. And you can tell when a fabric is a jacquard fabric because the back will show the opposite colors of the front side of the fabric. We're so close to the ending. So now the final touches are the white parts, and I use gouache for this. And for you guys that don't know what's gouache, gouache is kind of like a mix of watercolor and acrylic paint, and that's what I use to highlight the white parts. Yay! Now we're finally done. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you learned something new from this video. I will be posting videos every Friday, so I'll see you then. Bye!